The greatest rivalry in world rugby began on August the 13th, 1921. 100 years later, the All Blacks and the Springboks come together in Townsville, Australia for the historic 100th Test match between the two. Namatahi ma Tanama, Rua Teo a ono na kapu, e ewa ka a Ruatahi. Tēnā koe to former All Black Justin Marshall.
Kia ora Nisbo, no mai, haere mai te whānau kia ora. Welcome everybody to this historic test match as the All Blacks and Springboks roll up their sleeves and go toe to toe at each other. 2 years and 4 days since they last played, 1 and 2 in the world. It does not get any better than this.
Well, 10 of this team lined up against the All Blacks 2 years ago at the World Cup in Yokohama. The only survivor from the starting front row is the veteran tight head France Malherbe. Lotte Jager missed last week against the Wallabies but returns for his 52nd international, while Quagga Smith is back in the starting lineup, and there's room too for the 35-year-old Dwayne Vermeulen at number 8. 6 of the back line played 2 years ago, with only the injured Cheslin Colby on the sideline. Most of the play will revolve around the tried and true combination in the halves, Faf de Klerk in Test 35, and the long-established number 10, Andre Pollard. And on the bench, quality right through all 8 players.
Well, the stage is set and the All Blacks are ready to go, which is fantastic to see. Ian Foster has had the luxury of picking a very strong side for this afternoon's clash. Starts up front with big, strong, loose-head Joe Moody, and he'll anchor the front row with Taylor and Laulala. Scott Barrett is fronted big time at lock in Whitelock's place. All energy and aggression, Brodie Retallick. Now a forced rejig in the back row. Jacobson is out. Ethan Blackadder starts at 7. Artie Savea goes to 8. And the destructive Akira Ioane at blindside. TJ Perenara back to the big stage, starting at halfback in this huge test match. The magic touch of Beauden Barrett at 10. Riku Ioane at centre in sensational form. David Havili at 12. In the back 3, the aerial skills of George Bridge on the left wing, and real quality with Will Jordan and Geordie Barrett with him. Good strong bench with informed players rewarded, and Hoskins Satutu in jersey 20 is included.
Milestone game for Trevor Inyakani, the loose-head prop for the Springboks, lining up in his 50th test match this afternoon. Debuted back in 2013, and certainly an integral part of the Springbok team that won the World Cup just 2 seasons ago. Joined now by the rest of the Springbok side and their captain, Sir Kalesi, and we all know what happened over the last couple of weeks. 2 rather disappointing performances, but this is different. Warm conditions. We'll go sideline to Greg Clark very shortly. But let's just bring the All Blacks out, led out by Artie Savea, who is back in the number 8 jersey after the late withdrawal of Luke Jacobson. So the All Blacks out there, 99 previous test matches. New Zealand have won 59, South Africa 36, 4 draws. But this is the big one, the 100th, as the All Blacks prepare to do the haka. 100th Test match between the All Blacks and the Springboks is underway in Townsville. And the Springboks in possession early.
South Africa, use it!
Coming for the left-footed Faf de Klerk. And there'll be a lot of high balls today, and Geordie Barrett couldn't quite get to it, but it falls nicely for now Bridge. Now Havili puts the little kick through. Chasing hard onto this is Rico Ioane, and cleared away nicely by Willie le Roux. And the All Blacks may look to go quickly. They do through Bridge. Gets it quickly up to the two Barrett boys. Geordie keeps it low. And waiting once more is Pollard. And from inside the 22, another towering punt downfield. Again, Geordie throws it quickly to brother Bowden, who stays inside the 22. Keeps it really low. And it sits up for Nkosi. Slings it across to midfield for le Roux. A lot of kicking early. Nicely timed run by Barrett. Got the pass off. And the All Blacks have possession through George Bridge. Now the skipper, Savia, ripped off him by Blackadder. In the number 7 jersey, almost to halfway. Quickly to Perenara. Bowden Barrett. Havili goes wide. Taylor ranging out wide. The hooker. And the All Blacks look for quick ball. Perenara gets it away from Moody. And Moody for Retallick. Long opening sequence to the game.
Okay, now.
As Perenara again for Bowden Barrett. Looking to spread it wide. But here's Geordie Barrett up the middle. Just about got clear. Perenara again for Bowden Barrett. Throws a wild pass. Tidying up as Taylor. Does really well. Busting out of tackles. Now Cody Taylor. Can he link up? Jordan's there. Will Jordan. Plenty of pace. Oh, Will Jordan scores. All Blacks in early.
Sensational All Blacks. South Africa had their opportunities. They didn't want to phase at all. Their intent was to kick. The All Blacks, once they found their mojo, felt their rhythm, started from Ethan Blackadder with a little pop pass. The pass from Barrett wasn't accurate, but Cody Taylor drifted his way across field, went inside one of the tight forwards. From there, looming up outside, as he always is, Will Jordan. Willie le Roux, brave effort and valiant, but you're never going to stop this guy with the hot shoes he's got at the moment.
Plenty of pace. And Will Jordan, 12th try in just his 9th test, and what a start for the All Blacks. Inside 3 minutes. Greg Clark sidelined.
Well, technically we just can't pick up Clarkey at the moment. Hopefully we'll rectify that shortly, but there's the intent for me. Straight off the kickoff, South Africa's first option was to kick from that very phase. It wasn't a bad kick. Forced the All Blacks to kick back to them, but from there, it was all about intent. South Africa only wanted to try and play territory. New Zealand, when they found some space and some room, they were all about counter-attack. Eventually, after time, it hurt the Springboks. They've learnt a harsh lesson if they're going to continue to play this way against a team that's prepared to open them up from all parts of the park.
Now to Geordie Barrett. And he has drilled it. So it's a converted try early on. And the All Blacks have the lead by 7-0. And Cody Taylor, what a great setup. Away we go again with the kickoff. Taken in by Bridge for the All Blacks. Perenara. Taylor, the man who set it up. Still inside the 22.
No, not yet. Okay, nine.
Now, TJ Perenara. Lobbing it towards the touchline. And it's still in there. Bridge has got it. No.
Still live.
The flag
Still
is
live.
up, so it will be
Thank you.
the first line out of the game.
New Zealand gap, please. Hold the 10, both. Hold the 10. Hold the 10.
And Manami goes short. Now de Klerk away for Pollard. Here is Khaleesi. Into midfield goes Sia Khaleesi. Dragged back in strong tackling by the All Blacks. Now de Klerk again goes high. And Bridge angles under it. Oh, he's made a mistake. And it's a try. Try scored by Nkosi.
Wow, that is one of the most bizarre tries you will see. The line-out efficiency was really good. Quagga Smith at the front. Midfield, Khaleesi was strong over the advantage line, and from there, from the middle of the field, Faf de Klerk puts up a bomb that goes right into the middle of the 22. You hardly ever see this, but George Bridge, who was in position, didn't judge it. It was behind his right shoulder, and South Africa get themselves straight back into this test match off an All Blacks mistake in the backfield.
Wow, a try each inside 6 minutes of the game, and he simply didn't judge it, George Bridge, at all. TJ Perenara was tempted to touch it, but he would have been offside. And an easy try for Nkosi.
And you just wonder if that was a set-piece move that they had thought about, but in my mind, Nkosi was too far away. He wasn't even competing the kick. It went behind Bridge and was long. Bizarre.
Pollard not able to convert. So the All Blacks maintain their lead, but it's been cut to 2. Action aplenty in the first 10 minutes. Awkward for Bridge, looking back over his shoulder. And a gift try in the finish. Bowden Barrett then kicks off. Taken in by De Jager. Lud De Jager back in the Springbok team. Now de Klerk. Feeds it off for Etzebeth. All Blacks looking to get over the ball, and I think Blackadder might have done it. Took it away. And almost an intercept.
Nothing there.
What great work by Ethan Blackadder.
He's in the number 7 shirt.
He's got
Ethan Blackadder
so just a knock on. Back we come.
has the ability to adapt and adjust his role. Seen him
turnover was good.
play number 8 blindside. The balance of the loose forward trio will work themselves out because Ardie Savea can get over the ball as well. He's probably more of a natural side, open side flanker than anybody, but Blackadder there, he was on the ball. He's good, big, long-limbed player, so he's going to be hard to shift if he gets his accuracy right, and he did that time. Good to see that he's prepared to get over the ball and affect turnovers.
A look at the 2 benches there, both with plenty of power and players who will make an impact later in this game. But just 8 minutes gone in the test match.
Crouch.
7-5, a try apiece.
Fine. Set. Okay, 9.
All Black scrum solid. Perenara rips it away. Away for Havili. Almost got past Khaleesi's tackle. And penalty against the All Blacks at the breakdown. Ball not released. Big part of the Springboks, Andre Pollard. 56th test match for him tonight.
New Zealand, only the ball carrier. He's sacked, okay? Only the ball carrier. Wait till he's on the deck.
Now Mbonambi
Hold the 10.
went short with the first one.
Closing the gap, Black. Closing.
Well, very quick free kick given by Luke Pearce. Springboks will either bang this high or opt for a scrum.
He looks set for a bomb here.
And it'll come down just out from the 22, and
Straight across number 4, blocking him.
well,
Yes,
Brody
he did.
Retallick interfering
Number 4,
with some of the
number 4,
chasers,
blocking.
and and it's a penalty.
Well, you're probably picking up on Luke Pearce, the referee's mic at home. That's 3 very technical warnings that the All Blacks received. The first one was for making sure they only sacked 1 player in the line out.
You can't look over your shoulder and change lanes.
The second was for closing the gap in the line out, which resulted in this penalty. And then thirdly, making sure that you don't obstruct and get in the line of players trying to chase. And he's got Brodie Retallick there for something quite minuscule, if you ask me, but there was no player that was contesting the ball and wasn't in the vicinity, so they're on the back of some really harsh penalties early, the All Blacks, and a chance for Handré Pollard, who didn't hit his first conversion very well, to possibly put South Africa ahead after 10 minutes of this game.
So here he is, Pollard. No doubt about that one, though. Kicks the penalty goal, and the Springboks are now in front after 11 minutes in the game. Barrett from halfway. Again, it's Ludiyaga who takes it in.
South Africa, use it!
Once again, the kick coming here from de Klerk. Geordie Barrett says, I'll have a go at this. Nicely timed run there by Mpimpi. And it's there on the All Black side for Perenara. Works it off to Barrett. Good charge here by Savia. Gets the All Blacks on the front foot immediately. Now Barrett. Taylor almost overran that. Managed to drag it in though. Perenara looks to his left for Moody. Joe Moody held up. Strong defence on him.
Don't react, thank you. You're ahead of the ball.
A third penalty goes against the All Blacks.
There's your mark. Guys on. No, thank you. Neither are you, no. Ahead of the ball carrier, taken from the side. Post called.
Well, as we see Handré Pollard line this up, 2 very different mindsets here. South Africa looking to put pressure on with their kicking game. I have to say at the moment, de Klerk's kicking has been accurate, which has meant that the All Blacks haven't got a lot of time to launch their counter-attack. They are looking, however, once they get and secure that kick, to phase. South Africa's defence is coming up quick, particularly outside in. Khaleesi trying to cut off the outside channels where the All Blacks will see space, but it's just about being patient and getting the ball there.
Handré Pollard. And he has landed that one as well. So 2 consecutive penalty goals by Handré Pollard, and the Boks lead 11-7. Barrett again. Again claimed by Diaga. Held up on the 22.
South Africa, use it. Taken in, 9.
Once again, here comes the kick. Again, Geordie Barrett waits. Dragged down on the tackle of Mpimpi, but it's there for Perenara. Change of tactics from Beauden Barrett. Just near the 22 and easily contained by Pollard.
It's very predictable, isn't it? And what I'm thinking in my mind is the All Blacks have seen how South Africa are wanting to play with de Klerk kicking from those kickoffs. You should consider going the other side. It's harder for a left-footed kicker to kick back around and hook it across the ruck as a halfback. So kicking to the left, it's easier for de Klerk to get better rhythm, and it's an easier kick from that side. Wonder if they consider it.
Scott Barrett wins the line out. Here's Jordan, the try scorer for the All Blacks. Ball is there for Perenara, and the All Blacks get their first penalty of the game. And this is certainly within Geordie Barrett's range.
Number 10, stop number 9.
Just a couple of metres on his own side of halfway. Not going to go for it though, so Beauden Barrett bangs it away downfield, and he's mistouched. No, he hasn't. A little bit lucky. It was very nearly dragged down by the Springboks, but now the All Blacks have a great attacking line-out.
Hold the 10, please. New Zealand, hold the 10.
Taylor throws, won by Blackadder.
Advantage, entry to the maul.
Playing advantage here. And it's a penalty to the All Blacks, as the Springboks tried to combat that rolling maul that the All Blacks were setting
Number 4,
up.
hit ahead of the ball carrier. You've got to hit the ball carrier or the lifters, not beyond. Hit the ball carrier or the lifter, not beyond. Not for me.
Just need to get their timing right, South Africa, which they didn't there. And they've turned down that opportunity, the All Blacks. Adi Savia and Beauden Barrett had a very, very brief conversation, which
Hold the 10, please.
pretty much would have said, let's go
New
again.
Zealand.
Savia playing in at halfback, taken in by Blackadder.
5.
And his body's on the ground, so progress forward will be hard to make.
Okay, once, New Zealand.
Here's Taylor in the back. Perenara slings it across to Havili. And big defence in midfield again by the Boks. Now driven off the ball. Real aggression here from the Springboks. Etzebeth has it.
Okay, 9 South Africa.
And the All Blacks have been
Use it.
simply
Don't
outmuscled
pull him,
there,
please, don't pull him.
as de Klerk bangs it away. Time this time for Geordie, and then in fact it's Will Jordan, and not able to free the arm, and he threw it forward. And the Boks are pretty happy with the way they're going at the moment.
That's not how I saw it.
Well, they're
If I'm
pumping that
wrong, I'm
left-hand
wrong.
touch line effectively. As I said, the kicking game from Faf de Klerk is very good. Kolisi got through on Perenara, didn't have an issue with that. I thought Delalinde also did a brilliant job defensively on Havili, and then got back to his feet, which forced the All Blacks into a compromised position at breakdown. They turned it over, and at the moment they are frustrating the All Blacks on that left-hand touch, not giving them any space and time off the back of a good kicking game.
Let's go sideline, Greg Clark.
Well, after that blistering start by the All Blacks, the Springbok coach, Jacques Nienaber, really wanted some luck early on, and the try to Nkosi Nisbo was certainly the luck that they were hoping for. There's been a real momentum shift, not only on the field, but in the crowd as well. So they're trying to outmuscle the All Blacks, and so far, so good. But we all know that this All Black team can score from anywhere, can strike from anywhere. A couple of unlikely mistakes from the men in black, but a long way to go yet.
Australia, Argentina to follow at just after 10 o'clock tonight, New Zealand time. Injury break here for Frans Malherbe, being patched up. Interesting looking at the stats, Justin. Certainly the All Blacks have had the majority of possession.
Yeah, they certainly have. Tactical kicking has been very good. As I mentioned, from South Africa. You know what to expect now, though. Another noticeable thing is how quickly South Africa are moving forward defensively. I think when you saw that first try from the All Blacks, even though there was some times where they looked they were vulnerable, it was a bounce pass that led to Cody Taylor's break. If you stay patient against that sort of defence, they're coming up so hard and fast, it will eventually yield.
Beautiful stadium, home ground of the North Queensland Cowboys in the NRL. and hosting this historic test match. Taking a fair while here, but finally the job is done.
You're right in what you say as well. The stats are showing comprehensively the balance and the way that the game has gone, as this is only going to be the second scrum nearly 18 minutes into the match. Line-outs are plenty. South Africa are content with their kicking game to keep the ball in play and put pressure on the receivers, and then subsequently that receiving breakdown and try and cut space and time. Be interesting to see their tactics from this zone. Definitely Faf de Klerk can't kick from this area. Responsibility will be on Pollard, or even further if they decide to phase Vili Leroux a little bit wider.
Fine. Set.
Right, in it goes from de Klerk. Scrums are pretty even, but referee rules that the All Blacks went down first. It really wasn't going anywhere. So it's a penalty to the box. They're fourth in the game so far.
Okay, 10, we'll play and we'll wait for the lineup. Yeah, let's go.
It looked like Joe Moody was moving forward the loose head there to me, because tight head Mal Herber conceded. Moody had nowhere to go but to ground. But I've seen that differently, and now a chance for the Springboks again to build some momentum and some pressure from a good part of the field.
Okay, just time off please for a second, Davo. I know, come on, let's get the game going. It's a fair shout. It's a fair boy. We all good?
We're not meant for five-man line-out so far in the Test match, South Africa, so there's something that they feel that they can use effectively. Looks like the same format again
it's
here.
It's a five-man. Hold the 10.
In Manambi to throw. Retallick does really well. Gets up, Perenara gets it off to Blackadder. Charges over the 22. So the All Blacks win one against the throw. Now Barrett goes short.
Let go of the ball.
Navili. Perenara again works it off to Scott Barrett. De Klerk flying up in the defensive line. Smith over the ball. Now it's back for Beauden Barrett to clear away down towards halfway. And that was an important steal by the All Blacks.
Sometimes you can't see the full picture in terms of the aggressive line speed, but I think it was very evident there how quickly Faf de Klerk, and then secondly on Beauden Barrett, even though he's managed to execute a great kick, how quickly the Springboks are coming up. They are really rifling off the line.
Come on, South Africa, let's go.
Springboks in no hurry. As Mbanambi. This time Vermeulen brings it in.
Hold back 9.
Mbanambi has it trapped in the back, but no progress yet. In fact, going backwards, and here goes the hooker. Goes for a bit of a burst. Taken from behind, and a good tackle by Taylor. De Klerk shovels it out wide. Gets it off to Mpimpi. And the Springboks set it once more through Faf de Klerk. Now here once more is Mbanambi. 10-metre line right there. Another kick.
Too far.
Yeah, miles too far, and easily taken by Jordie Barrett. Well, it's the first thought. What can I do with the ball?
Let's go then, boys. Let's go.
I can kick it. Oh, not a good kick. So the All Blacks putting pressure on themselves. Now Pollard's high kick. Chasing it after all. Beautiful work by Jordie Barrett. Got his pass off to his brother Scott. Scott showing good pace. Now he gets it off to Taylor. To the 22 go the All Blacks. Might have been turned over by Daryl Lende. And the referee blows the whistle. Great work again by Damien de Allende.
Oh, it was. Great interchange. at the back between Geordie Barrett, who got up, secured the ball, he gave it to Scott Barrett, had Cody Taylor looming out off his shoulder, and then Belalende really good over the ball, affected the turnover.
Apologies.
Again,
Inside.
it goes to show the All
Both
Blacks,
teams
if they
lined up.
just stay patient and they get momentum onto the ball, there is some fracture in that chase of the Springboks. They've opened them up a few times on counter-attack. Effectively just need to keep that in their mind, that if they stay calm, those opportunities will continue to grow.
Fine.
Certainly living up to its billing after 23 minutes. Springboks ahead.
Number 1.
And the whistle's gone
Moving your
again.
feet before the ball. Number 1.
This time it's a
Option,
free
please.
kick.
Yeah, you're inside the 22.
Oh, that's moving your
Stationary
feet
scrum,
before the
number
ball.
1.
Which to me is just jockeying for position to get set. It's
Okay,
quite
Tab.
pedantic. However, he's obviously trying to stamp a mark on this early, as Luke Pearce. The All Blacks on the receiving end at the moment need to get their discipline right. It is costing them at the moment in terms of letting South Africa off the hook quite a lot from this part of the field.
So it will be an All Black throw with Cody Taylor.
Hold his head, please, 9.
Taken in by Scott Barrett, and he was taken in the air. And so the All Blacks earn themselves a penalty. And the penalties at the moment coming thick and fast. So the All Blacks now can launch from around about the 22. Still enjoying 71% possession in the game.
Well, they've shortened their line out this time. Looks like a 4-man. We'll have Akira Ioane in the midfield. They've used this launch quite a lot.
So Taylor lobs it in, won by Retallick. Perenara, Havili, oh, just held on and no more. In fact, he's still trying to hang on. And Perenara doing a really good job. But the Springboks have turned this over with David Havili not able to control it. Here's Etzebeth.
Okay, then 9. Use it, please.
As the Springboks now look for an exit. As
5,
de Klerk bangs it up. Not a great deal of distance on the kick. And it's gone straight through the arms of George Bridge.
Wow, a little inexcusable, really, from the All Blacks strike move. They know the rhythm well, and they didn't get the execution right. The delivery was good down to Perenara, but between him and Havili, it broke down. Quagga Smith was over the ball, and again, a turnover in a wrong zone.
Come on, let's go, please.
Mbonambi finding Etzebeth. Tried and true combination, that one.
Hold 9. Okay, once.
All Blacks doing really well here, keeping nice and low
Inside 5.
and not conceding as Mbonambi runs into Moody. And there it is for de Klerk. Works it across for Smith. Taken down by his opposite, Blackadder. Now de Klerk needs his troops away to the right. Off it goes to Inyakani.
South Africa, use it. Onside, please.
Here comes another kick from Faf de Klerk. Real commitment from Geordie Barrett, and it's there and controlled finally by Perenara. So now Bridge has to go in and play at halfback. Swings it off for Laulala, beats the first tackle, but the ball's gone loose, and the All Blacks have lost control of this. Malherbe.
Okay.
So another turnover as Quagga Smith makes a little run. Now the skipper, Khaleesi.
Okay, advantage now over.
Advantage is gone as Pollard bangs it away downfield.
Wow.
And he's completely overdone this. And the All Blacks can either take it back for a scrum or take the 22.
Well, that's not pretty to watch. It really isn't. You know, off a turnover and you're that lost for ideas that you kick it dead from that zone is not great thinking on Handré Pollard. He's a better player than that and a more positive player. On the flip side, the All Blacks are struggling at the back. I've not seen the likes of Geordie Barrett, George Bridge,
Just stay up, just wait for left.
in particular, that are being targeted under that much pressure that they're not quite getting their timing right. Buff de Klerk's kicking game is accurate. And at this point and stage of the game, the Springboks will persevere because they're getting enough change out of it. She might bring you in, Clarkie. Is there any real wind that the All Blacks are trying to deal with it, that not coping with that high ball?
Well, this new stadium in Townsville is open at one end, and that's because it can get very warm here, and I think the fans in particular enjoy the afternoon breeze, but it could be the time of day. The lights are starting to take over a little bit as the sun sets, but no real wind to contend with that we can feel sideline. It's just not surprising that the All Blacks are dominating possession, because the Springboks, as you know, as you've been saying all along, the default play is to kick whenever possible, so they don't mind giving the ball away, and the All Blacks are just making the mistake, and that's exactly what they wanted. We knew that the Springboks would be better this week. They've been out of touch against the Australians in recent weeks. They've been gearing up for this one like the rest of the rugby world, and you know, I think the All Blacks have just got to play the territory game and remain patient. We know what they're capable of. You can have a look at the stats. 89% of the All Blacks points going into this match have come from tries and conversions. The Springboks, 49% of their points have been coming from penalty goals. So that says it all, really.
Just over 10 minutes remaining in the first half. As Perenara works it away for Barrett. He's in a fair bit of space. Finds Havili. Now Ioane. Bridge. George Bridge to the 22. Perenara wants to get rid of it quickly. Does so. Laid back there. Now Perenara once more. Moody. Held up near the 22. Perenara again. Swings it away for Beauden Barrett. Across for Retallick. Delays the pass and keeps it going. Perenara. Laulala, the big man, straight up the middle. Perenara again, playing under a penalty advantage. Barrett decides to kick. Geordie Barrett's out wide. Pops it back in field. Ioane can't hang on, though. No knock-on called at this stage. And he's going back for the original penalty.
Really good set piece from the All Blacks. Beauden Barrett moving from the right to the left. The timing between him and Perenara was very good, which enabled him to just grab a hold of a couple of defenders, which set David Havili away. Contest in the air was a legitimate one. Pollard had eyes for the ball, haven't got a problem with that. He couldn't get it back to Akira Ioane on the inside. Probably at one stage the All Blacks, they had Mbonambi as the second to last defender. They had two players outside, but again, Mbonambi stepped up into the space, so they just couldn't find those two players that were free, and that's what it's going to be like all day. Eventually that space will become free. You've just got to have the patience, as Greg Clark was saying prior to that scrum, to wait until your opportunities present themselves and then take them.
Geordie Barrett bangs it through, kicks a penalty goal, and the Springboks lead is now just one with 8 minutes remaining in the first half.
Yeah, we're gonna go. Let's go.
Back to halfway with Handré Pollard. Oh, he's overdone this. Pushed it too far. So a fundamental mistake by the experienced Andre Pollard, and the All Blacks have opted to take a scrum on halfway.
And another good chance for them to set themselves. The key decision makers will talk about how they were able to open the Springboks up from a very similar scrum, just slightly deeper before. They'll have 2 to 3 different options off that. One will be Barrett going to the right, another will be to miss Havili, possibly out the back to fullback.
Correct, yeah.
If they can get the platform again, they probably have the ability just to catch the Springboks.
Okay.
A little bit tight on the scrum. Massive contest going on between Malherbe and Joe Moody. Tight head for South Africa, loose head for New Zealand. If that can stay stable, we can see some razzle-dazzle from the backs.
Fine. Set.
So in it goes. Perenara drags it out. Quickly Havili, inside pass. Controlled in the end by Geordie Barrett. Perenara swings it away. Here's an offside against de Klerk. So another penalty advantage for the All Blacks as Perenara. Off it goes for Havili. Almost got the arms free. Savia breaks the first tackle. But the penalty advantage. And this is once again kickable. Although Beauden Barrett has made a quick decision by the look of it.
What's the call, lads? Yep.
So not for the first time in the game. The All Blacks have passed up the opportunity to take 3.
I think South Africa are defending them all quite well. They have some big men up front in particular. Etzebeth knows what he's doing. He's been in big games before. I just wonder whether or not they think about appeal. A slight variation. Look set to drive and bounce out. Cody Taylor's always good at doing that. Also, so is Savia.
Taylor's throw is good. Blackadder wins it. Oh, pops off a couple of heads.
Knocked on first, just off number 4's hand.
It didn't work, although the Springboks knocked it on. So the All Blacks dodged that
just
bullet.
A little knock on, number 4 trying to go through.
Are really closing that space, though. They did look for a shift. So the jumper went up, he looked to shift it across. So they were trying something a little less predictable to try and catch that Springbok defence out. Didn't execute properly, but they still have an opportunity now to launch from scrum.
Time off.
Another player down.
I know you're the expert.
So attention here for Trevor Inyakani, the man playing in his 50th Test match for the Springboks. And they've got some real power to come off the bench as well. When you look at the likes of Malcolm Marx, Stephen Kitsoff, Vincent Koch, all magnificent players in their own right.
Absolutely, they are. And that's a very good front row that the Springboks have at the moment.
Okay, let's go. Let's play.
Weapons that the All Blacks have that not a lot of people see when they're scoring tries are plenty in the back line or all over the park, is how dominant they can be up front and how good their scrum is at the moment. They're getting parity, but they're on the wrong side of a few penalties, and it goes to show how very good that Springbok front row is and that pack. And in reality, it's all 8 that are really putting the All Blacks under pressure.
Fine. Set.
Inside 5 minutes remaining in the half. All Blacks trying to put some heat on the scrum.
9.
Now Perenara works it away for Havili. Barrett, oh, knocked down. Boy, I reckon this could be yellow.
Demo, give me a quick look.
Gotcha, mate. Just going to have a check for you now.
Hang on. That could have been very nasty.
It will be yellow simply because
Demo,
he's put his hand out.
Of course. I've definitely got a clear knock on. I want to see this deliberate, please.
Yep, and the
Bring out
thing
angles for you now.
Thanks.
that makes it very clear for me was Will Jordan was in a massive amount of space. He was a transition runner coming from the right with depth. If the pass goes to him, It's not inevitable, but there was a very likely prospect that the All Blacks were going to open the Springboks up big time, which makes it even worse for the defender. There's Jordan, and he's a mountain of space.
So Damo,
and so is Geordie Barrett.
I'll have a discussion once all the replays are up, mate. Just hold on.
Absolutely no hope of regaining
now
that.
Get the wide angle to show me the replay.
Just a pure knockdown.
Deliberate knock on. It's a penalty at the moment. I want to see if it's any more than a penalty.
Yeah, correct, mate. Going to bring the wide angle up for you shortly.
Yeah. So he takes the risk. He doesn't regather it. So we're on penalty. Wide shot to see if it's any more than that, please. Can you two talk to each other, then I can have a look at this, okay?
He has legitimately, he has put his hand out.
Let's have a look again, mate.
Watch his right arm here, he sticks it out, it knocks the ball down. Those players are in space. They've got George Bridge on the outside as well. 3-on-1 on Billy
We do have an
LaRue.
overlap on numbers on New Zealand. There is a defender there, so it's definitely not a penalty try, because we can't be certain that a probable try would have been scored. It's deliberate, there's an overlap, it prevents an opportunity. To me, that's a yellow card. Are you in agreement?
Agree, mate.
Thanks. It's not a penalty try, because they did have cover. Thanks.
Definitely a yellow card. I can't agree with him that they did have cover. I think that was creating a 3-on-1. Billy LaRue was the last defender, because that's the right winger, so he's the second last defender. So where's the cover coming from? I'm not sure. However, it was certainly a yellow card.
So Nkosi, who scored the try early for the Springboks, will spend 10 minutes in the bin and won't come back until around about 4 or 5 minutes into the second half. In the meantime, Geordie Barrett put the All Blacks back in front.
I guess what I'm saying in a nutshell is they're very fortunate not to have both a yellow card and a penalty try.
Julie picks up the 3 points, and the All Blacks regain the lead with 4 minutes remaining until halftime. Pollard from halfway. Down as far as Bridge, off for Havili. Driven down at a good, strong tackle by Diaga. Perenara. Laulala. Haven't seen much so far of Akira Ioane in this game. Takes it into contact.
Hold his front now, please. Hold.
Now
hold.
Geordie Barrett.
Good.
Dribbles
9.
the ball into touch.
9. If you dummy it again, it's a free kick.
Interestingly, so far the Springboks, apart from one line out, every single one has been a 5-man, but apart from one line out, which they went into the midfield with Kolisi, they've driven the 5-man line outs. What if they stay with that tactic?
Message delivered, and Bongi Mbanambi to throw. Diaga pulls it in. Bodies all over the place, so it won't go anywhere. Now de Klerk. Away for Dialende. Good tackle on him by Blackadder. De Klerk again. Drop kick, no, it's a high kick. Barrett waits and claims it easily on this occasion. Not finding the line, Geordie Barrett. Down for Billy LaRue. Again, it's Barrett coming forward, gaining in confidence. And the ball comes out the wrong way. And there was no release from Smith, Quagga Smith. And the All Blacks get a penalty.
Both arms, please.
And, well, they could launch from a line out inside the 22. So one last chance in this first half.
I hope the All Blacks' confidence hasn't been knocked by the execution they got wrong between Perenara and Havili. If you remember earlier, I certainly think that they should be phasing off this, not driving.
Taylor throws. Oh, it's untidy. Scott Barrett beaten to it. Now Pollard decides to run it back at the All Blacks. With just over a minute until half-time, the Springboks will be keen to kill the clock here. So de Klerk from inside the 22, he can look towards the touchline, and he does just that.
It's a good kick. Great turnover. They competed, won the contest in the air, and then on the ground from the loose ball, Buff de Klerk with all his experience, excellent kick.
All Blacks go quickly. Here's Will Jordan. Into the last minute of the first half. Perenara. Dropped cold by Ioane. Ball comes right here for Mapimpi. And the Springboks have the ball right near half-time.
No advantage. The turnover's...
No advantage there.
The turnover's good, but there is no advantage. Back to the scrum.
And so going back for the knock-on. Akira Ioane, who just dropped it cold.
You'd certainly think that words to the effect of discipline.
Okay, let's go.
See the handling errors, which is quite appropriate, which is exactly what I was about to talk about. Turnovers is 7 to the All Blacks and only 4 to South Africa. Then you combine that with the penalties at important times as well. Some of the handling errors have been when they have been in good zones. You would think that the strong messaging in the shed is to rectify all of those errors.
Bind. Set.
All Blacks trying to get some pressure onto the scrum. De Klerk away for LaRue. Hooking it back in midfield again. It's Jordan Barrett. Looking more and more assured under the high ball as Perenara swings it away for Beauden Barrett. Now the wide pass goes to Taylor. The All Blacks want to keep playing, even though the siren has already sounded. Perenara for Beauden Barrett once more. Dragged in by Laulala. Springboks over it, trying to turn it over. Perenara wants it. Beauden Barrett again. And there's a forward pass in there. And that is it. Half-time has been called by the referee at Country Bank Stadium in Townsville. And it's been a titanic struggle in the first half. And the All Blacks lead at the break by 13 points to 11. Right, whistle blows. Away we go. Second half of the 100th Test match between the All Blacks and the Springboks. Taken down by Scott Barrett. Akira Ioane as the All Blacks set up a drive. Perenara looks to go blindside. No room there at all for Bridge. So now Perenara works it away for Laulala. Just under 3 minutes until the Springboks get Nkosi back. As Perenara testing Vermeulen and the big number 8 trying to hold Bridge at arm's length. He does well though, does George Bridge, and they win the penalty too, the All Blacks.
Number 11 off feet. Number 11. If he just drops on you, he's got to try and reload.
Vermeulen did his job.
Yeah.
But Mapimpi, he just lay over the ball without being on his feet, which you're unable to do. So an opportunity for the All Blacks to find some territory and get something going off line out. It's been negated so far in this Test match. They haven't been able to get much going from there. They would have spoken about that at half-time. Retallick was saying a lot. Let's see if they come out tactically slightly different in the second half.
Good attacking line out here for Cody Taylor. Dragged down by Retallick. And the Springboks driving them towards the touchline, but the All Blacks have straightened it nicely. Now Perenara slings it away for Havili. Doesn't offload. Now he does. Pops it up for Perenara. Now Scott Barrett as they march down towards the line, and they gain another penalty. And they may well take the three here.
He's in the road, number 3.
So Luke Pearce, 2 quick penalties against the Springboks to start the second half, and the All Blacks want to try and cash in.
They do. They look like they're more set on phasing, of trying to keep the ball in hand. Malcolm Marx, who's very good on the ball, he's on the field now for Umbomnami, so they're going to have to be aware of getting him out of the ruck and clearing him, because he can get turnovers.
Taylor's throw. Oh, well won by Diaga.
Turnover's good.
Ball turned over though, and here goes Ioane. Ball pops up for Perenara. He's got the big man. Oh, it's been knocked on by Laulala. Those mistakes continue.
Knock on.
Straightforward pass has been knocked on, and the opportunity has been lost against 14 men.
Onside.
And the Boks will be back to full complement very shortly.
Well, it was Scott Barrett, I'm sure, that managed to get the turnover off the breakdown. From there, the All Blacks went close with Ioane, but again, patience lets them down.
This time the All Blacks win their own ball. Perenara got an offside here against the Springboks. Here goes Akira Ioane. Orders there once again for Laulala. Stung, no doubt, by losing that ball.
Easy, relax.
But it's still a penalty for the All Blacks.
Excuse me, hold on. Your turnover's fine, maybe we're back to the advantage. Number 5, offside the line-out.
Oh, this will be interesting, because they turned down a very kickable 3, and the fluid nature of the All Black line-out is not what it is. They got that right and managed to milk a penalty. But Adi Savia and the key decision makers feel that perseverance is the way forward. So interesting to see in this zone here, like they were before, South Africa are prepared to compete. So Taylor, lifters, jumpers, caller need to get it perfectly right, because South Africa, they show intent to get up.
Taylor throws again. Blackadder drags it in. Being shown the touchline, but they've kept it straight again. Savia himself, and just out near the corner. And that is a victory for the Springboks.
Line out 5.
Well, there's a point, isn't there, between ambition, positivity, but also winning a test match. And the All Blacks at the moment guilty of turning down points and going to an area where South Africa have shown all afternoon and continue to show in the second half. They're not prepared to take a backward step, and they're actually winning the battle. The All Blacks may have to have a mind shift very quickly on what they are doing in this zone in terms of choosing lineouts over kickable points.
Malcolm Marx, new man on the field. Lobs it in. Diaga wins it. De Klerk away for Smith. Takes it outside the 5-metre line.
Okay, South Africa.
Now De Klerk.
In front.
Lobs it away downfield and safely into touch. It's a bad throw. Marx is able to free it up for Khaleesi. Good run by Sia Khaleesi. Blackadder tries to get over the ball, can't though. Now De Klerk away for Kitshoff. So another new man on the park for the Boks.
South Africa, use it. Hold on,
De Klerk. This one coming down just short of halfway. And Bridge not able to get to it. Marx instead. He's got a knock on here against the All Blacks. As de Klerk works it away for Quagga Smith.
No, I understand, but it's your penalty. Number one was offside first.
So it's yet another penalty.
Number one offside.
So it looks like Clarkie, the Springboks decided to make some changes straight out of the sheds. So tactically they run those players into the ground and made the changes at the halftime break.
Yeah, a little earlier this week for Marks and also Kitsoff, so that's an indication that you know, there is a ding-dong battle up front, and going to a couple of big guns early in the game. But as we heard from John Plumtree, I don't think there's any panic in the All Black situation, but the Springboks certainly did manage that period with Nkosi in the bin very well indeed. So good position here now for the Springboks. They need a good start to the second half.
Marks throws, De Jager. Now Pollard goes wide, almost an intercept, but Khaleesi has it. Again the kick. And the Springboks are onto this. And it's been snapped up by Laulala. And that's a head-high tackle by Quagga Smith. So the All Blacks, who had a knock-on advantage anyway, have now got a penalty.
I'm the one slowing it down, not them here. High tackle, number 7.
A similar tactic, and what was really interesting there was Lou De Jager was one of the chasers. So off the Khaleesi charge, in fact, it was Etzebeth who was up there along with Mpimpi. So it's something tactically, when they get to that midfield, there must be a call of some sort for Faf de Klerk. Either he makes it or the chasing players do, and they all just enter into the middle of that 22 to try and contest it and make something happen, which they did in the first half.
A couple of wobbly lineouts for the All Blacks in recent times, but Blackadder wins this one. Now Perenara away for Beauden Barrett. Quick for Geordie Barrett. He's put it on the deck. And the All Blacks continue to make mistakes. He was in some sort of gap.
So tactically, I wonder what the Springboks mindset. See a Khaleesi as a captain's mindset is like from this zone. It's a scrum right out in front. Their scrum's been very good. They got Kitsoff, Marks on the field. I wonder if they tried it here. Look for a scrum penalty to get the 3 points to get them ahead. They haven't shown a lot of ambition in terms of attack so far in this game.
Stay left of the mark, please.
And their scrum has been very good today.
Come on, let's bind up. Let's get the scrum going. Stay left. Stay left. Crouch. Bind. Set. Okay, 9, think about it.
Two evenly matched scrums. So de Klerk gets it wide for Billy LaRue. Now it's Deolende. Takes it almost to the 22. As de Klerk goes for a little scamper, throws a loose pass. And the All Blacks will take a scrum. In terms of skill execution, Justin, it's been disappointing from both teams.
Well, it has. Well, the Springboks are reluctant to pass the ball at all. So in the first half, statistically, the All Blacks passed it 77 times. South Africa only 18. And they only managed to piece 22 rucks together, 30 rucks together, I should say. So they didn't want to pass the ball, and there was only 86 tackles in the first half. Now, usually in a half of rugby, one team would nearly make that many. So it goes to show you tactically how this game is being played. And then you combine that with the errors. Yes, it's been very stop-start.
All Black scrum. Perenara They've got a penalty advantage too, and away goes Will Jordan. Makes a half break. Petronara wants to get rid of it smartly, does so. Beauden Barrett in a bit of space. Now he finds Bridge in a heap of space. Takes it down almost to the 10-metre line. And he said away 7.
Everyone just relax a second. Lads, there's no advantage back to the scrum penalty here.
Oh, I was hoping he wasn't going to do that.
You're fine now.
Because that's all the way back in the 22.
I'd really appreciate it if you don't yell at me, mate. Yeah, you were talking to me, I think. Okay, back we come.
And
no
that's,
advantage, scrum penalty.
That's advantage over to me. The All Blacks have made 50 metres there. Nice from Will Jordan. The recycle was good. They got Bridge into space. They weren't accurate enough at a breakdown, or there was an offence at the breakdown. But to go all the way back to the 22 is probably a bit over the top, I think.
Well, he told Quagga Smith to get out of it, and he didn't.
I think Quagga Smith was okay. I certainly think, and he did say that, but I think it was Mapimpi that was the player that enabled Quagga Smith to get over the ball because he hadn't rolled from the tackle. So, yeah, technically somewhere in there, this probably the All Blacks should have got a penalty.
Yeah.
Is what we're both trying to say, are we? Somehow.
Well, much better kick from Beauden Barrett. So the All Blacks again swing back onto attack. Won by Blackadder. Delivered to Petronara. Now Beauden Barrett away for it, Ioane. Here's Jordan in space. Oh, he's thrown it straight to Billy LaRue. And the Springboks have it back. Just when it looked as the All Blacks were damaging the Springbok line.
Okay, South Africa, use it, please. Oh, don't hold him, mate. Don't hold him.
Faf de Klerk to make another kick. The inevitable kick, and away it goes. Bridge couldn't hang on, knocked it on. And away goes Smith, good strong run. Ball ripped out of his grasp by Havili. So no advantage there, and it'll be Springbok ball.
It'll be getting frustrating for the All Blacks. Because they are finding holes, but they're not then able just to execute that.
It went in 5, so the line out's over, so they can all come
second to last or last pass, as we saw with the Jordan break there. You can see it earlier in the game that the way South Africa defend, they'll always take that space. And what I mean by that is, as a defender, if you're compromised and there's an overlap, some defensive teams will sit back and wait and hold and allow the touchline to be their friend. South African defenders, they come up fast and hard, and they'll get in that space where you want to pass. And that's where you've got to be incredibly accurate with the pass or incredibly patient. At the All Blacks moments in this game where that's been pivotal, they've been getting it wrong.
Let's bind up then, let's go. Please.
So Etzebeth departs, having done a pretty good job for 54 minutes. Franco Mostert, another experienced international player.
Stay left.
47th Test match.
Impressed with Etzebeth. He was good in the lineouts. He competed. He won a couple of turnovers.
Crouch.
Tackled hard. Typical tough performance from Uban Etzebeth. Mostert will give just as good. He's a quality player.
Just on halfway with de Klerk.
Okay, 9.
Now delivers for LaRue. Awful pass. Snapped up here by Lekanyaram. First time I think I mentioned him in the whole game. The centre three-quarter. Now de Klerk. Away for De Jager. Driven back in a good tackle by Akira Ioane. Here comes another kick from de Klerk. Geordie Barrett says, I'll go with this one. Already lost it, I think, in the maybe the lights which are coming on. And it's fallen loose. Now Pollard rips it across. Chance out wide for Nkosi. Quarters there for de Klerk. De Jager takes it hard into contact. Now Pollard works it away for Vermeulen. Away for LaRue. Now arm once more. touching the ball twice in a couple of minutes. And
It's not necessary, you pushed him over after he passed the ball.
got a penalty for a push. Well, that's never happened in rugby before.
You'll see in a second. You'll see in a second.
Well, they'll bank the 3 here, South Africa.
9 passed the ball, and then he was shoved over
There's the
unnecessarily.
last 5 penalties on the bounce. I just wonder whether or not, if we take our mind back, will we see the push? No, that's the turnover that made the referee go back to the penalty because he felt that Rieko Ioane was over the ball, so he had to go back. The attack out on the right-hand side. Not quite sure where the push is, but he's found it somewhere. But as I was about to say, keep an eye on this at home, but when I've been watching the kicking from Faf de Klerk, the All Blacks look like they're getting a lot of players around that zone, and I think they're just in the way of the player coming forward, trying to take command of the air. Maybe they have to rethink that.
Pollard to put the Springboks back in front, and he does. So 14-13 with 17 gone in the second half. All Blacks starting to make changes, Clarkie.
Indeed. Carl Tuanuku-Ape, Alpha Tuanga-Fasi, and also Damien McKenzie out there. And I believe he's out there for Will Jordan. I imagine that we're going to see Geordie Barrett maybe move to the wing.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. Damien McKenzie on the field, skirting back towards the wing at the moment, as we can see, as the high kick goes in from de Klerk. And again, Geordie Barrett claims it. Perenara goes wide for Akira Ioane. Perenara for Scott Barrett. Looking to turn it back in field, but hangs on to it. Now Beauden Barrett for Retallick. Good clean out there. McKenzie looking to weave some of his magic. Geordie Barrett, boy, the Springboks coming up quickly and sure and steadfast on the tackle. Scott Barrett right in centre field. It's Perenara away for Havili. Now Rieko Ioane. It's there again for TJ Perenara. Quick hands. Black goes for Bridge out on the left wing. All Blacks trying to put some pace into the game. Tuanga-Fasi for Scott Barrett. Springboks offside. Perenara. Bridge in the action again. And they'll go back for the penalty. And surely now the All Blacks will take the 3.
That was slightly better from the All Blacks. The other way to get your way through aggressive, fast defence and to get that fracture that you're after so you can get some rhythm and some quick ball is to offload in the tackle. A couple of offloads in the tackle there just created a bit of momentum and a bit of space.
Geordie Barrett, 2 penalties and a conversion so far tonight. This to regain the lead with 20 minutes remaining. No problem at all. 16-14 to the All Blacks.
This is classic traditional All Black Springbok test match. Both teams tactically working their way through it. You get the sense something's got to give at some stage soon.
Pollard kicks off. Again, close to the touchline. All Blacks do control it in the end. Akira Ioane brings it in. Perenara Swings it off to Tuangafasi. All Blacks replacing both prop forwards. From inside the 22, Beauden Barrett down the middle for LaRue. Now the kick and chase from the box. Beauden Barrett, oh, big contest. And Vermeulen might be in a bit of trouble here, although he looked as though he was contesting the ball.
Let me just, my TMO do some work in the background. Damo, just the penalties. Why don't you have another look?
I think his timing was fine. I think he left.
Just a penalty, mate.
Just a penalty.
I think he left his feet at the same time.
You're going for the ball, but you have made legal contact, so it's just a penalty.
Yeah.
Who's right? No, I didn't.
Mate, this isn't the time for a conversation now. It's a penalty, and I'll come back to you, but this isn't the time. Penalty. Yeah, but he's going for the ball. We've confirmed it. We're just on penalty. Okay, water off, please.
The way they'll interpret the law there, which TMO Damon Murphy did say to Luke Pearce, is
no review.
He said that it's just a penalty. Vermeulen contested the ball legitimately. The only thing he did get wrong was while he was up, he made contact with his opponent, who did eventually come down with the ball, which meant that he landed awkwardly.
Yes, it is, yeah.
To the letter of the law, that's right, and I can understand Vermeulen's frustrations. He thought he was in a contest, but you've just got to be really accurate in that zone.
Cody Taylor clarifies the call. And Blackadder wins it. He's won a few at the front of that line out tonight. Scott Barrett drops to the back. All Blacks have got a little bit of a way on here. But now they're going to have to think about delivering it, but this is good. They've gone 10 metres. Perenara. Now he gets it. Cavili knocks it down. Wasn't a good pass. Too high. And all the hard work comes to nothing.
The execution again is not there, but for me, part of the problem is the zone. That's the congestion zone for the All Blacks, and they seem very persistent in wanting to go there. And at the moment, because Havili and co are getting the ball at the same time as they're getting a defender, it's making it really difficult to execute. I think they have to look slightly wider than that 5 to 7 metres zone from the ruck. Cody Taylor's afternoon is done. Great break for the first try to Will Jordan. Samasoni Taukiaho replaces him, who's in excellent form as well.
Looks like France Malherbe's day is done, so that will be Vincent Koch. The blonde-headed prop will be on. There he is on the far side of the scrum.
Thanks. Okay, let's wind up then.
So both front rows totally revamped. Bogger Smith, he's been good today, so he's finished. No doubt Marco van Staden is on there. Springbok looking to get a bit of May on here, but the All Blacks, you reckon? Only one team going forward there.
Push straight, not across the scrum. Number 18. Yeah, well, if we go touch, we'll stop at the line if we need it. Is it nasty, actually? Is it bad? Time off, please. Hang on, mate. It might be serious here. Just have a second.
So there's a Springbok player down here. Malcolm Marks.
Take time. Time's off.
Let's go sideline. Greg Clark.
Well, Nisbo, crucial time of the match, obviously 16 points to 14. I still like the All Blacks' intent. Yeah, the execution hasn't been what we expect from them and what we've seen from them in the Rugby Championship so far, but as long as they just continue that intent and don't get too impatient, the gaps might come late in the game. Still some changes to be made on the bench. I did notice that Patrick Tuipulotu is warming up as well, so expect both the coaches to well and truly empty the bench, because it's been pretty hectic out there. TJ Perenara, his night is over as well, his 74th test match. So a change to scrum half there. So Brad Webber makes his way up. And Scott Barrett coming from the field.
Okay, so big changes with 15 minutes left in this test. And Pollard gets good distance on this penalty kick. The All Blacks can't keep it in. And now the Springboks have a good launching pad. So, Marks to throw. Will the All Blacks put somebody up? No, they don't. Vermeulen takes it, unimpeded. Oh, they've collapsed this too, the All Blacks. So they're in trouble with the referee as Van Staden goes ahead. Now to Clerk, run down by Carl Tu'unukuafi.
Over here for not tapping the ball carrier, or here for offside.
Well, they've got two penalties, two options here.
I suggest they'll probably take the closest one to the post and bang over three, knowing Sia Kolisi and probably the Springboks mindset of this evening.
Number 4, tackle the ball carrier, not the supporters.
I certainly think this is not the type of arm wrestle that the All Blacks want to enter into with the Springboks in the remaining 14 minutes of this match, because they've not got any flow. They're out of rhythm, and the Springboks are very disciplined at this game plan. They know where their strengths lie and how they want to play it. The All Blacks need to adapt and change and adjust.
Here's Pollard's kick. Straight through it goes. And the Springboks lead by 1 with 13 minutes left in the game. Barrett with the restart. Kenzie gets down there in a hurry. No, in fact, it's Brad Webber.
Yeah. Same as number 8's penalty down here. Not in a position to contest. Tackled in the air. Okay, let's go then, 10.
Yeah, I think the other side of it is because what they're trying to do out there, the All Blacks, is simply not working for them. When you look at how ruthless they usually are with the ball, a big part of that statistically is the turnovers they've conceded. They're on 18 turnovers to only 6 for South Africa. There's 12 handling errors in that, and that's very unlike the rhythm they usually have. I think part of that is the zone they're trying to attack, and also their persistence at trying to take the Springboks on in areas where they're very strong. Surely the messaging will work. Delalende's night is over.
Marks throws. Lineouts worked well all night. Taken down by Ludiaga.
Okay, through the mark.
Marks hangs on. Still going. Now they get something going.
That's once 9.
Now to Clem. Again, the high kick. Oh, All Blacks weren't sure who was going to take it.
16, you're offside.
Oh, boy, they're a bit lucky there. Mackenzie and Geordie Barrett were debating who was going to take it.
10 must move backwards, not forwards.
Barrett's kick is a good one, a very good one.
Okay. Messaging. Has it found the mark?
Tokiaho with the throw. Goes to Retallick. Off the top, Weber. Bowden Barrett. Backhands again. The hands let them down. And the ball's been lost. Playing a advantage here for the Springboks. Now, oh, he's let that one.
No, he's gone back. He's gone
back, yeah.
No, he hadn't caught advantage over.
2 knock-ons.
And that's that pass right on the tackle line again. And with the humid conditions, a slightly greasy ball, but an aggressive defence. We've seen it all evening. That player, and that time it was Ethan Blackadder, we've seen it with Haveli, we've seen it with Plenty, is getting a defender at the same time. And the pass that should be held and not given is continued to be given, which is culminating in error after error after error. But I tell you what, we've got an entertaining 10 minutes somehow still in front of us, Nisbo.
We have, as the Pumas arrive for their match later on against Australia, just after 10 o'clock New Zealand time. Well, we thought inside the first 5 minutes, when we had a couple of tries, we'd maybe get plenty in the game. We've had none since.
So from a similar position, territory-wise, 7 or 8 minutes ago, South Africa, they went first option scrum penalty. With all the changes, they got some change out of it. The All Blacks will be aware that that's what they're after. They need to front in this zone to make them do something more creative.
Offside, 9 ball, offside.
Springboks trying to win the penalty, and they've done that.
You could almost write the book, Nisbo. So now it'll be a kick from Hyundai Pollard deep, and quite possibly a line-out drive to try and milk another penalty. Yes, it might be predictable, and yes, we can all see it, but at the moment, it is, man, super effective.
That's not my side, mate. It was the other side.
Not such a good kick this time by Pollard, but the Springboks have the line-out throw. Time is running out.
And he does have the ability.
Space.
From a good 50 metres, Hyundai Pollard as well. So the All Blacks' discipline will have to be good. They'll be aware of his kicking capability.
They're going to come in. Sits his receiver.
Malcolm Marks lobs it in. Again, the All Blacks concede the throw.
Through the mark. No legs.
Minimal progress here.
Okay, that's once line.
So that's the once, and now de Klerk will lob the kick up. McKenzie says, I'll do this, and even he can't pull it in. So the All Blacks have made another error under the high ball. Now here's Vincent Koch. It'll be there for de Klerk. Goes short to Kitsoff. Springboks just using their big beef. Fun started.
Okay, 9, use it.
De Klerk once more.
Wow.
This time Barrett says, I'll do it. Can't quite get to it. Hacked away downfield by Hoskins Satutu. Pollard having to go all the way back. McKenzie surveying the scene. And a victory there for the All Blacks, as Willie LaRue has to bang it into touch.
That's some sort of tactic. But again, they won the aerial contest, but unfortunately the bounce wasn't favourable. Hacked away by the All Blacks.
Tokiaho throws. Retallick delivers. Can they get something going through the back division? Terrific defence on Quintupaya, who's there. Now they get a chance through Brad Weber. 15 metres away, snapped up by Tuangafasi. Ball's gone loose. And
Problem.
Here's Van Staten in the clear. Havili tries to make the tackle on him. Springboks getting there quickly. Here's another kick. Straight to McKenzie. Could open up here for Geordie Barrett. Lovely tackle on him, though. Springboks over the ball.
They've won it.
And they've won it. Here's Van Staten again. Great defence on him, though. For the All Blacks by Patrick Tuipulotu. Now Pollard, as the game starts to speed up. Geordie Barrett gets away. Now he feeds it off to Beauden Barrett. This is when the big players have to stand up. Now Retallick on the 10-metre line. Weber slings it away. McKenzie. Savia. Here's Hoskins Satutu. Puts boot to ball. The bounce will be interesting. Oh, it sits up nicely for LaRue, and he clears it away. And the game speeding up favours the All Blacks. But are they running out of time? Yes, they are.
Oh, well, again, they coughed it up, the All Blacks. And as it went out to Marco van Staden, as we see in shot here, I think the All Blacks will be grateful that he gravitated infield. He had two players on his outside that were in space. They managed to shut him down. This was the break from Weber, who's added some real energy since injecting himself into the game. From the ensuing ruck, the All Blacks turned it over. Then the breakout from the Springboks. They then eventually kicked it away. Out to Sotutu. Very good kick ahead. Billy LaRue's the last man back. He chases his own kick, applies pressure, and they get set to launch themselves towards trying to milk something into this game, towards winning the game.
Marco van Staden, he's made quite an impact. Never started a test match for the Springboks. Herschel Yankees is on in place of Faf de Klerk.
Where do they go, the All Blacks? Do they revert back to the maul that South Africa defended so well? Do they get into some phase play off a shortened line out? So many options, but execution is key.
Just another chapter in this great history between these two nations, and the All Blacks have blown another one. Here's Van Staten again. Goes hard at Tuangafasi. Now Yanchis feeds it off to Marks. They'll want to try and keep this in hand for as long as possible.
South Africa inside.
So they're inside the 22 as Yanchis gets it up. Barrett. Ball drops down, and it's on the Springbok side. Yanchis trying to dig it out. It's a knock-on advantage being played, so that'll go pretty quickly. Now this will set up for Beauden Barrett. Ioane hasn't got any space to play in today. Now it's with fullback LaRue. All Blacks over the top of it. They win a penalty.
Quintupaya. Dare I say now what? Because we know that Geordie Barrett has the capability. He stepped forward straight away.
Post call.
Absolutely, distance is not a problem. The ones that he's kicked so far, if you've been taking notice, he's belted them to the top parts of the stand. So it's just about getting that angle right and delivering that blow that we all know he's capable of. Quintupaya, brilliant over the ball, couldn't be moved, nice and stoic, creates the chance.
Tough kick, really tough kick. Looking good. And over.
Composure, rhythm and pressure. He soaked it all up and delivered for the All Blacks. Now they need to think about securing the kick-off. Next most important job.
Pollard kicks off, 2 to go. Dragged in by Tuipulotu. Gets it to the ground.
Offside, please.
Now Weber. Tokiaho. Got to be careful not to concede a penalty.
Just step, please, props. Taken in 9.
So Weber lobs the kick-off downfield for Mullen Waits. Takes it nicely. Held up by Tuangafasi. No, it's Savia. Now Mostert. Waiting is Yanchis.
He's going to kick.
He's going to kick.
I can't believe it.
Hasn't quite got the distance though. Geordie Barrett, man of the moment. Brilliantly taken down by Geordie Barrett. I said the big players had to stand up, and he's done it. Now Weber slings it wide. Driving the box back down towards the 22. Now Pollard gets shut down. Nice tackle by McKenzie. Desperation stuff from both teams. Once again, Franco Mostert. 30 seconds remaining as Yanchis waits patiently. Surely the Boks are going to try and run this. Pollard hardly shoveled it on all day, but he does now. Here's Vermeulen out wide. Dragged down in the tackle of Satutu. There it is for Yanchis. Malcolm Marks. All Blacks over the ball, trying to turn it over. Can't do it though. Siren sounds. Ball knocked on. All Blacks will scramble this into touch. And Beauden Barrett will do the honours. And the game is over. And the All Blacks win the 100th test between the two countries.
Well, what a finale we had to a test match that was simply absorbing. Not a classic by any means. It certainly didn't rain tries, but it was punch, counter punch. It was methodical. Both teams trying to work their way through aggressive defence, trying to find a way to get enough ahead on the scoreboard to take the game away from the other. Neither could work it out. And eventually, in the dying moments, Geordie Barrett steps up for the All Blacks and gets the job done. Wow.
Unbelievable finish. There was 2 points in it at halftime. 13-11. 2 points in it at the end. 19-17. The 2 tries in the game both scored in the first 5 minutes. After that, it was penalty kicks. But the history of the All Blacks against the Springboks is littered with drama. Just add another chapter to that. Final score, 19-17, the All Blacks win.
You haven't had much time to reflect on it, but what's going through your mind at the moment? What a test match, what a battle.
It's always tough when you play the Africans, and man, I'm just relieved, and glad I come away from that not injured. The African boys know how to turn up, and they certainly turned up physically.
And Artie, you stuck to the intent. You kept playing all the way through. Execution wasn't always good, but you must be proud of the way that the guys were able to get the win.
Yeah, you know, win's a win, mate, and we take the W. But you know, for us and our standards, you know, we dropped a lot of ball, and you know, we missed opportunities. couldn't build phases, and that's part of our own fault, and also the Springboks putting us under a lot of pressure. So it is what it is, mate, and at the end of the day, we got the W.
For the benefit of those watching around the rugby world, we've been waiting for a while for this one, the 100th Test, 100 years of a great rivalry. I mean, it's something special, isn't it?
It is, mate, and I just want to honour everyone that's been in the Springbok jersey and the All Black jersey the past 100 years. We're right here standing on the shoulders of them and the fans and the people. So, it's 100, and it's a privilege to be able to play this game. And it's, reflecting back on it, mate, we represent change and us moving forward.
What we're all looking forward to is, in 7 days, you get to do it all again. What can we expect?
Yeah, mate. To be honest, mate, going to go in the changing room, go give Sia a hug, catch up, and then we go to war again next week. So I don't know, but it's just going to be like this next week.
Thank you very much for what has been
Cheers, mate.
a wonderful night. Cheers. Sia, what a test match, just typical of South Africa versus New Zealand, wasn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Everything from the first kick-off, you could feel the intensity, the heat, pre-heat as well, and it's one of those things that you don't need to be psyched up for. You already know you have to up for it, and I thought the intensity was amazing, and yeah, the physicality as well, and I'm proud of the way the boys stood up over the past 2 weeks. I think we deviated from our plan, and today we played exactly the way we wanted to, but obviously it's unlucky on the scoreboard.
What was the difference? Because you have been out of sorts against Australia, so why were you able to lift against what's now the number one team in the world?
We had a hard look, the week against Australia, we played a lot of rugby, and it's something that we don't normally do. So we definitely went back to what we're good at, kicking high balls, making sure we get up in the air. We always win the ball back, win the ball back. Set piece, we were hard on it. They stopped our mouths very well today. But yeah, I think that worked for us, and we did what we normally know.
And what about playing in Townsville? A lot of support here as well.
It was amazing. From the moment we got here, the people have really been welcoming in our hotel. The Palma has really also been amazing. And just being around, friendly people, and it's amazing. And I think people of Townsville deserve a whole lot more union and rugby going forward.
The good thing is, you get to do it all again next week.
Yeah, no, 100%. There's another opportunity, one more to go. So we're really looking forward to it. We've got to give it everything, okay?
Thanks for a massive test match.
Thank you so much.
All the best.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Sure.
1917. How's the heart?
Oh, not too bad. It's was one of those games. It was tight. We knew it'd be tight, but if you're ever going to take an ugly win, we're going to take that one. And so it wasn't pretty to the extent we wanted it to be, but I love the attitude at the end, and great kick by Geordie.
Yeah, fantastic. He stepped up and delivered, no doubt about that. But the intent again was fantastic. Okay, the execution may not have been there, but I just love the way that the All Blacks continued to play rugby.
Yeah, we did, but like we saw today, the amount of pressure that teams can put on us, and we've got to rise above that a little bit. So, overall delighted. Clearly it was going to be a big arm wrestle. It was. We tried to break it open, we couldn't, and South Africa really squeezed us with their kicking game and caused a lot of errors, and you could just see us get a bit fidgety. We wanted to play, but it just wasn't quite working. But I love the composure at the key parts of the game. We still hung in there, and great attitude, and again, to hang on to a victory. We'll take anything over South Africa any day of the week.
Especially in the 100. It lived up to its occasion, didn't it?
Yeah, well, I said to Geordie Barrett, it's apart from being a great kick, he's always going to be the guy that kicked the winning goal against South Africa in 100. So it is pretty special. It's scripted, a lot of drama, and we'll talk about the quality of our performance later on, but overall, couldn't be more proud.
I was going to ask, what do you say to the troops, because you play them again in 7 days?
Yeah, well, it's clear and obvious, really. Like in the Northern Hemisphere, they play the Six Nations. If you win all 5 games, they call it a Grand Slam, and it's very special. And so we've got a chance next week to make it 6 out of 6 in this championship and make our own little Grand Slam. We don't do that very often, and so there'll be massive motivation for that.
And you wrapped up the Rugby Championship yet again. You wrapped up the Freedom Cup, and it's been a tough week for New Zealand rugby with the loss of the great Waka Nathan. So what's your message to the fans back home?
Oh, look, he was an iconic man in our game, for not only for how he played the game, but also for who he was as a man, and the time that he was there. So, he was a bit of a legend on the field and off, and so it's a very sad day for us. But you know, our thoughts are to his family and his whānau for everything they're going through. But you know, we do remember him fondly.
Well said, and enjoy the celebrations. Congratulations.
Thanks, Clarky. Appreciate it. Cheers.